Welcome everyone to the City Council public hearing for February 17th. Welcome to everyone here and at home. So we have 4 public hearings. First one up is an ordinance providing for withdrawal of annexed property. City Manager?
Thank you, Mayor. The purpose of this hearing is to hear any comments on the proposed withdrawal of annexed properties from special service districts. These withdrawals come before the Council on an annual basis, and this year the batch contains 6 annexations approved by the City Council in 2014 for a total of 14 tax lots, all of which were initiated by the property owners. Timing for adoption of the ordinance is critical. State statutes provide that any properties to be withdrawn must be approved by March 31st, 2015. Otherwise, these properties will remain on the tax rolls of special service districts until July 2016. Council action is scheduled for March 9th.
Thank you. I'm going to open the public hearing. All right, is anyone signed up? No. I'm going to close the public hearing, and I'm going to ask if there are any questions or comments from council.
Is there a reason why we just go ahead and vote on it tonight?
City Manager?
I don't know what's on our schedule for March 9th, but just in case
We're just checking real quick since it
It's
isn't.
not set up that way. That's the only thing I can say.
I think for meeting notice.
Okay. All right.
I know one of the hearings tonight we are asking you to take action.
Yeah, and the rest of them
on.
weren't,
Yeah,
so
but the others
it's
aren't,
a matter of notice, I think.
That's fine.
Okay. So next up is a public hearing is an ordinance adopting hazardous substances user fees. City Manager?
In accordance with the Eugene City Charter and City Code, all costs of running the Eugene Toxics Right to Know program must be covered by fees assessed to businesses in Eugene that are hazardous substance users. For the fiscal year 2016, the Toxics Board is recommending the City Council adopt a fee of $56.08 per full-time equivalent employee, which is a per FTE decrease of 67 cents in comparison to last year's fees. This item is scheduled for public hearing and possible action at tonight's meeting.
Thank you, City Manager. I'm going to open the public hearing. Has anyone signed up? I'm going to close the public hearing because no one has signed up. I'm going to ask if there's any questions from council. And does any councilor object to taking action tonight? Seeing none. So, Council President, we need to put it out.
Thank you. I move to adopt Council Bill 5139, adopting hazardous substance user fees for the fiscal year commencing July 1st, 2015.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Ready to vote. All those in favor, please indicate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In opposition, none. It passes. Thank you all very much. Now we're on to public hearing number 3, an ordinance concerning delegating authority to City Manager for removal of chemicals from the hazardous substance list. City Manager?
Thank you, Mayor. As a housekeeping revision for routine changes to streamline processes for the Eugene Toxics Right to Know program and reduce the amount of staff time spent managing the program, the Toxics Board is proposing Eugene Code amendments to Chapter 3, delegating the authority to the City Manager to remove chemicals from the program's list of reportable chemicals and to update the hazardous substance tracking instructions.
I'm going to open the hearing. Anyone signed up? I'm going to close the hearing. I guess the only comment I would like to make for the public, should they be watching this, is that all of these topics have been discussed at prior meetings and been reviewed by council. So you may not hear much discussion tonight because those discussions have happened on a prior occasion. This is the opportunity for the public to express any concerns or considerations. And as you see there, no one's here to do that. So. Any other comments from council? If not, we'll move on to the next item, which is public hearing number 4, an ordinance concerning obnoxious vegetation. I hate obnoxious vegetation.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a public hearing on an ordinance that would make changes to Chapter 6 of the Eugene Code, specifically addressing the obnoxious vegetation provisions. These changes would allow the city more flexibility in how the program is managed in the future by removing unusually prescriptive language. In the near term, if approved, these changes would allow the city to reduce the service level for regulating obnoxious vegetation on private land, allowing some parks maintenance services to be restored.
Thank you, City Manager. I'm going to open the public hearing. No one has shown up. I'm going to close the public hearing. I'm going to ask if there are any questions or comments from council. All right, then I'm going to say...
Madam Mayor?
Yes, sir. Councilor Taylor.
I noticed you changed, you inserted the word may in a couple of places, right? So it means that you won't necessarily do something, but you might.
That's correct. Previously, the code mandated certain notices go out, and the notices actually mandated certain actions. So to take the prescriptive requirement out, but still make it so that it could happen if the resources and staffing were available, it was changed from a shall to a may.
So does this mean that if there's a dangerous level of noxious weeds, blackberries, next to you in a yard, and you report it, that they might not have to remove them?
Neil, do you want to speak specifically to how the implementation's going to...
Thank you.
So, yeah, in the case where if the shalls were changed to mays and we weren't required to do it on a certain schedule, the city still has the authority to enforce. That authority doesn't go away. And so the idea is that where you have something that's really a threat to safety in particular, the city could still step in and intervene and use these regulations to enforce and make the situation safe.
I know of a case where there used to be a backyard that was full of blackberry bushes, and on one side of that lived a retired firefighter who said that they were really a fire hazard, that blackberries burn quickly. I don't know if that's true or not. And anyway, anytime that it was reported, the city sent a letter to tell the person they had to do it or else the city would do it. It would clear them, and they got cleared. That is no longer a vacant lot. It's different. But so that wouldn't be true anymore, or would it?
Well, the code would still allow the city to enforce in a situation like that.
It wouldn't necessarily happen.
But that requires resources being available to do that program. So that situation where blackberries are growing over the fence does happen here and there around town, but it rarely gets to enforcement because there's not really a threat in that.
Well, I'm not talking about just over the fence. I'm talking about a big space full of them.
It could still be enforced, so it's not as if it can't be enforced. It's just, so we can still go through the regular enforcement process as we have before if it is a threat to public safety or health.
Okay, thank you.
I guess my only request about this one, just listening to what Councilor Taylor, I understand you want the flexibility and where you're not able to do some things to some degree anyway, but just keeping an eye on whether this makes any difference in how we respond to things, I think would be important for us to see if there's we lose anything through changing this.
It might be helpful to know, and I didn't put this in the agenda item summary, but both Lane County and Springfield have these kind of regulations on the books, and years ago, both of them stopped enforcing that. Mm-hmm. So of the local jurisdictions, we're the only one who's continued to enforce these regulations on private lands. So if that's any comfort.
Well, I guess it doesn't move me whether they did or don't. What moves me is whether we think it's working for us to do the kinds of things that we think we need to do, and for us to keep an eye on if this has any kind of downside that we're not thinking of right now.
Yeah, and I think we will monitor it, and as you suggest, the key is public safety and health. Mm-hmm. And we want to ensure that those still occur regardless of what the ordinance says, and so we will continue to do that and monitor that.
Okay. So with that, we are, unless anybody else has anything else, we are through with our hearings for this evening and the business. Thank you all very much.